careful in this kind of environment. Unfortunately, darlings might come under attack, and sort of this is a name obviously that's pretty popular at TRI, and one of our TRI's principals, he really got to know the story very well, made a sizable investment, he got paid off very, very well. So congratulations to you. You know who you are. Think if anything, this is the season for effery, for lack of a better word. You've probably seen, well, you saw all my sort of 4-year cycles on Bitcoin and stuff. And the irony of this game is that I even tried to, like, on some social media rant, tried to teach the public this, but of course it falls on deaf ears. Institutions buy down markets. They sell up markets. Could institutions actually be helping the process of a market moving down to do nothing more than encourage people they don't want invested, i.e. the public, to sell and basically bring price down into a desirable buying window for them? If you even have to think about what the answer to that question is, then I don't know whether trading's really your vocation. Go hang out with the kids. You can work in a trade or something like that and become really, really good at, like, being a carpenter. You can do great. Hell, go work in the legal any profession, all right? But trading is not for you. If you actually believe that institutional players don't manipulate markets to their own ends. They do all the time. And ironically enough, they only really admit to it when they're caught. And what's so sad is it usually is sort of like front page news that something nefarious happened. And then it's like page 20 or 30. And the very back, you see a little byline, ABC firm paid a fine for doing this, this, and that. And somebody was sentenced to jail for X amount of years for this. And usually the guy who goes to jail actually had absolutely nothing to do with the fraud from the beginning. But that's how the great financial crisis went down. Anyway, lots of volatility, and I even get the impression that there was even basically a very coordinated attack on this particular idea. I'm not quite sure what you call this. Platform? I don't know whether that's the right term. They went at it from different exchange sizes. They went at it from different assets. They went after their stable coin. So clearly, these guys, there's some big players at work here, and they are evil. The interesting thing about this, I told somebody on social media here today, is a guy like me, like I came in on the buy side, Sior did even better than me. He got in right at the bottom, but I came in on the buy side down in this setup down here. So they start screwing around with price up here. I couldn't give a rat's ass. I've already sold 2 or 3 times doubles. I missed my latest sell half on a double by like literally $1, suckers. well, and that's capitalism for you. But because I'm long from here, I don't really care that much. If anything, it's just fun to watch the games. But I did find it interesting that, of course, when we start coming down into levels, and as you can sort of see here, I think we got a lot of reasons. This is the old last time the darn thing W'd. This is a nice little trend line support window. This is a 50% retracement of the entire move. I think I even did this like off of 0. Also, this was, I don't know whether this has actually been hit yet, but an ABCD. I think we could probably come down a little bit more. Look at that. There's a cute little Foggenbaum right down in there. But it's fascinating that basically this thing came under attack, eh? And the attack did nothing more than just brought prices down into actually a buying window, which is kind of interesting, eh? And I get the impression that they were able to fend off the attack, and oh, well, look at that. Mysteriously, now price is starting to lift out of here. So this is the type of environment that we're in right now. We are in the, a lot of these projects, of course, did very, very well over the, following the, shouldn't we debate mortgaging our future? Shut the hell up, right? That following the halvening of Bitcoin, we go into that sort of window where, for lack of a better term, and I love how Sjord sort of mentioned this, right? There's 2020. There, I guess, even way back here, right? March, there we are there. So you can't even see this price. But in essence, if you can think of it this way, remember we showed you, Bitcoin did pretty well. What happens if you put $1,000 into this thing? Oh, Jesus H. Christ, that's ridiculous. Are we in that kind of environment right now, though? No, we're just not. As I think I've shown you before, you want to set your watch to this. It makes it really easy, guys. I think it was one of these charts. Yeah. You want to make, and I've said this at least 2 or 3 times now over the past 8 years, but nobody listens to me. You want to make this really simple on yourself. Just wait for the darn halvening event. Then as soon as the halvening event comes, and really, I think the argument is actually you have to figure out when the halvening event roughly is, and then you set your watch to about 6 months prior to that event. And that halvening event is almost like the official kickoff of the next cycle. Halvening event comes along, everything's cleaned up, all the suckers that bought up here, they've been completely washed out of the market, and we start the whole damn thing all over again. All right, market corrects. All the suckers that bought up tier, they're probably flushed out. In fact, probably a lot of them sold when guys like Kavarkinator were buying. 6 months ahead of that halvening event, just get your dollar cost averaging plan going, whatever. Get yourself ready for the next cycle. So why would this be any different? There's the next halvening event, roughly. Of course, we have research pieces on the site. Guy lived 200 years ago, basically predicted every single pivot in the market for the following 200 years. Ridiculous. But anyway, he just basically said market should bottom somewhere there. So what a surprise. There's a halvening event. Remember I said about 6 months ahead of schedule. Just get yourself ready to go. And, I don't know where the hell this next halvening event's going to take us, but in a weird sort of way, you can kind of see halvening event peak. And if we use sort of, why don't we use Simon Dixon's kind of, let's use the 80% of the previous move's correction. Then next one, halvening event and peak. So, here, you can't even see it, but that was basically about an 80% correction. 80% correction. So if we use the same logic, there's 78.6. What do we got here? We got, what's that say? 2,100, 1,600. Coincidence? Maybe not. So let's go conservatively. Let's go 1,500. What the hell? Where the hell does that take us? Oh, there you go. Somebody's beeping me. Where the hell is this? Holy moly. All right, so there's 1,500. There you go. So, and actually that would make sense to me. I remember, guys like Novogratz, he is saying, man, 200,000-300,000 Bitcoin, no problem. So I that makes a lot of sense. And the interesting thing is all the Glassnode guys and all those kind of people, I think they'll be vindicated on something like this. But really, this isn't rocket science. That's the craziest part about this, is that it's just while we're in this part of the cycle, this isn't the time to be overly aggressive, right? The worst part about this is, there's a whole bunch of the public that are trapped up here, right? Guys who are like, technical analysis doesn't matter, just buy it, you'll get rich. I need another gold watch for my collection of 50 gold watches that sit there and do absolutely nothing. And they equate to about 20 families' annual incomes. But hey, I like my gold watches. So get in there and buy. Buy my merch. Hit the whole damn thing. Use my referral code. You guys know how that goes.